What's up, my folks? I hope everyone is doing good. Y'all are getting along well. Hey, before we get on with this, I want to do a little video. There's, I guess, an old post from the gang dog or whatever. That post is a typo, man. Y'all gotta understand, I was sitting at a gun shop. I probably done had somebody walk in with something for me to look at or something and went back to fix it. Back then I had to type everything. Now I say whatever I want to say in the phone. If it comes out wrong and I don't know, fuck it. Y'all know what I mean. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of the attitude I had back then. Yeah, that was backwards. I mean, and I said fuck it and didn't worry about it because everyone knew me. They knew what I ran. They knew I ran fucking Ramsey shit and, you know, I like the old Purvis dogs. I don't care what no one says. I did good with them dogs. The old R&R stuff, the old Ricky Jones stuff. I mean, those are the dogs I like. I wrote that Deloach Nelson blood in there because a buddy of mine, I'll say, obviously, I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been my buddy that had, but that dog, if it's what I was thinking, well, it was about a third of that, and then a third Snooty and a third Frisco. But yeah, I never even had them dogs. I mean, people that knew me knew, so I was like, fuck it, just like a typo, because I probably had to put where I want, because I got everything all jumbled up. I done told y'all I'm dyslexic, but yeah, that shit was a typo, man. I always had them other dogs. Backwards. Put the other way. That's what I had. Like the old Midnight Cowboy dogs, the Jimmy Lee dogs. I had a bunch of them, you know, crossed up. But my favorite, which I didn't tell a lot of people shit too back then now, I didn't tell everybody everything. You got to understand, I was playing a game on a chess match like everyone else. Now I'm like, fuck it, I can go ahead and say it. But my favorite was Jeep. Real true Jeep blood crossed over Midnight Cowboy. That was my favorite cross. And then add some Ranby shit in there to keep the Bully Son in there close, you know, when that Carver close. But then go back to Jeep blood. But the problem is I got them down and I got them sick with babesiosis. And, man, it was, you know, one of them choices. And once my dogs were gone, I believe that reply was to somebody saying there was no more of them dogs left when we had them. Now, just letting them know that we had them dogs. And there was plenty of that Deloach and Nelson blood around in there. Everyone had that shit. But as far as me, myself, no, I was more into I like the Happy Jack dogs. They were good hard driving dogs. But I like the Artie dogs. I like the, you know, those type of dogs. But I would always cross them back with some Boyle's blood or cross them into some Jeep blood or cross them into some Turtle blood. I never run, it's the same way I do now. I never ran everything pure like, you know, you guys are thinking. Just like when I say I like Turtle Buster dogs. You can't take that as I go out and buy, I'm going to get Turtle Buster dogs. I like them as a percentage in my blood. You understand? What are you digging for? There ain't nothing in there. Trying to get crawfish up. Oh yeah, you're going to have you a crawfish boil, ain't you, girl? But, you know, that's just like saying that. You know what I mean? You got to know me better than that and use common sense. Now, there's another thing going around. Look, and I know you guys are don't buy into the guys trying to stir up shit with me and other breeders, okay? That's just a fact. Like I seen the dude about the Tom Garner shit, you know what? Hey, look, I probably sent more people to Tom than his website has. I'm telling you, I've sent a lot of people to Tom because I know if they have a good eye, they can go in there and they can find a good dog. He has a good program going on like that. But he also he's a commercial, professional pit bull breeder. He's a commercial operation. He has people that are very professional. They work for him. You know, he's got dog walkers. He's got everything going on, even builders. What are you doing, Peaky Boo? I've been chain breaking that one too. But he's already chain broke. It didn't take me but 2 days. He's done. He's in a dog house now. And he's a badass acting little dog, man. Somebody's going to get a good dog with this one. I hate to have to sell him. And I might not. I might just figure something out and place a couple more kennels out here. Get some help and set them up real quick. Concrete's it was cheap now, it's been rent back up, you know, around here. But anyhow, you know, it's all in, that's the operation that Tom has. You won't see me have any animosity. Tom's got a beautiful yard and all that, but I bet you Tom wishes he had a few chain outs. I could bet you money he does, you know. It's not, no doubt about it. These, you know, all about the chains and shit like that. You know, you got to understand, guys. Them guys that are coming there doing that shit, trying to stir up. That's what they do. That's the design of their game is to do that. All right. But no, I don't have any animosity to any breeders. I don't care. I don't really give a fuck. I'm gonna do my own thing anyway and produce my own type of dogs. Like this little dog here. That's got. He's a quarter of Tom shit. Dynamite, you know. And then you got to understand, it's like just like that, you know. That would be like me saying in a reply to somebody that I like the Frank, my buddy likes the Dynamite and I like the Frank dogs. It would just be obviously a typo when you know I'm running Dynamite shit. You know what I'm saying? That's all that is, you know. But you know, a man could go to Tom's and get good dogs. I mean, and they're there. They're right there. You got a selection, you know. But that's here nor there, you know. But there's no animosity toward me, and I'm not jealous. But Tom started out just like everyone else did. He's done a wonderful job with it. He's worked really hard, and with the dogs. I mean, he's got a fucking a wonderful kennel. But there was a time Tom had dog houses and chain outs too. Okay, don't get it fucking twisted. You guys got to live in the real world. You don't just wake up one morning and say, man, boom, I'm gonna wiggle my nose and this shit's done. That's years of hard work and constant work. That's why he's got crews that work for him. You know, I'm more of a hobby breeder. I'm more of like the regular Joe type breeder. You know, you can go to Tom and get what you want, and usually a well-bred of that line. Whatever that line is that you're going for, you can probably get one. You know, just the way it is. No bad talk about him, you know, whatever. And I took in some of the dogs, the blood that Tom was producing. I think I produced some fine-ass dogs using it. But it's like anything else. It's like a gun. You can go out and buy you a off-the-shelf rifle, and it might be fine for you, and that's what you want. But I'm the type of guy that I'm going to take that gun, I'm going to pick it apart, I'm going to change shit on them, I'm going to pull the stock off, I'm going to change the barrel, I might change the action. You know, same with these dogs. I build them to suit me, the kind of dogs I want. And speaking of that, we're doing this breeding again. And for you guys that has asked me over the last year, I've had a lot of interest in bigger dogs for hogs. The males that come out of this shit are giants. I'm telling you, they're big. They're big. These females don't represent what the males come out like. The females ain't near that big. But the males will come out. I mean, we have her brother right now, I think he told me the other day, is 67 pounds. And I'm talking about he's poetry in motion. He's built like BB. Come here, BB. The motherfucker's 67 pounds and built like her. You know, so come here, girl. You know, think about that. I mean, that's going to be a hell of a hog hound. He's not quite old enough to start on a hog yet, but that so far has been the biggest one. I mean, Bullet, no. I had questions about Bullet being the biggest dog I produced. No, right now I think Clyde is. Clyde's bigger than Bullet. A good bit bigger than Bullet. I mean, considerably. That's what I'm saying. Clyde's going to be a true catch weight bulldog when he's done growing. I mean, he's only 1 year old, you know, or right at 1 year old. Can't be much older. But, and let's talk a little bit about paper hanging. This video is going to kind of go everywhere on things, you know, that have been going on. If you didn't get a dog with papers from my shit, it ain't for my shit. You can ask anybody that's gotten a dog from me off these dogs and buster stuff. Ask all of them that gets them. They get papers, okay? If they can't show you papers, unless there's only one dog that I got the papers on still sitting over here, and that's because the boy's house burnt down. And he just told me to hang on to him until he's ready. He's over there in next state, you know what I'm saying? But if you don't get papers with them, they're not from my shit. It's just the way it is, okay? And as far as like buster dogs, there is no secrets. I know exactly who every dog that I've bred buster to and all that, and I know where they're at, and I know what's true. So I'm just saying that there's been a lot of people sending me pedigrees about this. Them dogs are not off buster. If you didn't get them from me, it ain't off buster. That's the truth now. Unless you third-partied with 1 or 2 dogs that I know went out off a buster. Even the old dogs, I know where they went, okay? I know where they went, and I know what happened to all of them and how they turned out. So, yeah, there's a lot of that going on. And then that shit goes on along and other things, too. Don't think, it's a very small world in these dogs. I mean, you know, certain dogs that don't even have puppies can't have puppies. You know, make dogs off of them. You understand? There's another litter that I know of, and that supposedly a dude's got a dog off of them, you know, that the bitch never even had puppies. You know, I've seen a lot of that lately. I know the dogs, I know the breeders, I know what's going on. What are you digging for? Come on. Reach in there and pull out a possum in a minute, ain't you, girl? Yeah, something under that ground, ain't there? But, you know, it gets bad, and that's where the bad thing about Peds Online is. When you start putting, that's why you can put your stud dogs on there if you want. You know, that's what I did, so people got a baseline. And then you can tell them over the phone, I took this one and I built this, and this, and did this, and this, and that. But don't put your offspring out there like because they're, and the litters that you're going to want to do, I learned my lesson about that too. Any litters that you like, future ones, your little fucking fantasy litters, don't put them on there. Because down the road, people will come up and say they got dogs off that shit. And I mean, I'm seeing it happen now with stuff that I know for a fact that it's not true. And, you know, some of the shit's from my stuff even, you know. And that's another thing. There is no secrets. I do know little, here, I'll give you a dog, don't tell nobody. This is bred, but I ain't going to give you papers. It ain't none of that shit goes on. I give everybody papers on their dogs. They all got papers on them. So just remember that. There ain't no handwritten pets. If it's got a handwritten pet, you show me a signature, my signature on it. I mean, that's all there is to it, because so far I've given everybody, I gave one guy a handwritten pet just so he would have it. And then no, two guys. I gave one that I actually lost papers I had on an older dog that was in there, but I gave him a handwritten ped, signed it, and he went and got papers right out. They all are registered. That's all I'm saying. There ain't none of them that ain't done no shady shit. If there's shady shit going on with these dogs, usually there's shady shit going on. Remember that. No secrets, none of that shit on mine anyway. You know, because think about this. This is where everyone gets, you know, pissed off about paper hanging. You can't, guys, y'all can't do that shit. People take that stuff real seriously. A guy, say you got a dog and you give a dog to somebody as a puppy and you hung papers on that dog, right, and give it to them. And they take that dog, they pour their heart and soul and make him something really, really special. And then down the line, they find out that your ass lied to them, that it ain't bred like that. They got all kinds of puppies coming up off of that shit. How, or worse yet, they just keep letting it go. A lot of breeders just let the shit keep going, man. I've seen it happen a lot. A lot of whole lines are not even what they're supposed to be. I mean, it's just how it works. Don't hang papers. Put unknown. You know what I mean? Put unknown. Fuck it. I'd rather see that on a dog and you know how it is and just tell them that than to hang papers on them. It's nothing good comes out of it, and it ruins lines, because they, just like with Tom Garner, a lot of people say that, well, Tom Garner hung this and that. No, I don't see where that would even be in a play. Now I can see where people would get a dog from Tom, spend $2,500 on it, and have something that they had already had that was really good, and that other dog didn't work out. I can see them putting papers on them like that. That's how a lot of that shit works out. So they show with the dog being bred a certain way, and then you got that dog producing, and say he's not producing the qualities that you would expect to see, and then the other dog gets blamed for it that really was a cull anyway, but his bloodline gets blamed for it. That's how a lot of that shit goes down. I mean, people will hang them motherfuckers on them to make them look better on their pedigrees. You know, they will, and there's all kinds of sneaky shit goes on in them. But even some dogs with papers don't matter. I mean, they just lie. You know what I'm saying? But anything off my shit, they're registered. You can ask anybody. All you guys that's gotten dogs from me, you can tell them. They get their papers. Now, they might not get them, pick them up when they're here. I'll mail them to them. It might be 2 or 3 months before they get them, but they always get them. I always give them their registration papers. I don't hold back nothing. Oh, so that's false. And a lot of them breedings that y'all ain't real. It's just not real. They never happened. I know every dog that was bred to him. But anyway, folks, y'all take care, and y'all keep on bulldogging.